Welcome back, everybody. We have our third game of the day coming your way, and I'm not going to get this wrong this time. It is going to be Godsent versus Granit Gaming. Yeah, I was about to say GG, but then I realized what the GG stood for, so there you go. Almost got it wrong. I swear the fourth game will be perfect. Granit versus Godsent will be our third game of the day. Granit in a comfortable position, much better than Godsent, and so that's probably why you're seeing the majority of the predictions go their way. Godsent just haven't really found their stride right now. They are struggling to hit pace in the NLC thus far, and Granit are the team that's really come out and surprised. They've come out swinging new teams to the NLC, and they've actually looked pretty good. Apart from taking on some of the higher teams, it's been a little bit iffy here and there, but Granit have looked good for the most part.
Yeah, and I'm becoming a bit nostalgic now. This was the kind of matchup that set the pace for Granit Gaming as well. We all came in. Trouble was the only one picking Granit. We all thought, that's a bunch of new rookies coming in. We don't expect much from them. But, the Rise came through. The only Rise game we've seen from Sahira. So what has Godsent learned from the last time they met these two, or this team? Well, they at least learned to ban the Rise here.
Yeah, and I wonder whether we're going to get the special or the Victor ban too. Or even just the earlier pickup of the champion, because we know.
Oh, there it is.
What a surprise. So with that in mind, it means there's going to be a lot of really strong champions up. Pantheon, Olaf, both up. Okay, do it.
Ring the bells. There it is. There it is.
Better than Riddle already.
Riddle, this right here. This right here. Right. But yeah, all right, sorry. We just had to get out. You can tell me in
I totally get it. I totally get it, and I think it's been a good draft strategy so far for Godsent. You ban the two champions that Sahira looks good on, and you take the Olaf first pick. It's a good start. Galba's going to get the Graves here, and now we're waiting for the second pick.
It's a winning formula as well. We saw this is what Trick do when they beat Granit Gaming. They took away the Rise, they took away the Victor, and Sahira kind of defaulted onto an Orianna where he did not have as much impact as we usually see him on. Now, champions like Kaiser are still up, but going with Dinar here can be quite deadly because, Camille Galio can come out and then you're just kind of, there's the Galio hover. I'm like, you already have the Olaf. This is like, you're playing into the hands here of Godsent, but interesting.
Yeah, normally when you're on blue side and you don't ban Camille, right, it can kind of work in a way where you normally end up giving Camille to the red side team, but Granit kind of opt for neither of those champions, and Godsent don't want the Camille themselves into the Nar. They want to take up the GP, which I've seen the matchup go both ways. It's definitely traditionally a Nar favored matchup, so very interesting. I've always considered it a Nar favored matchup.
I haven't seen it, that's why I'm asking.
Right. Yeah. So resident GP player, anyone that knows me, if you are a really seasoned GP player, you can navigate the matchup and it can be fine, but Mininar is a pain to deal with like he is in most matchups, and that's just kind of how it is. Leona pickup, I think, is totally fine. Just as a sort of blind safe support pick, you can sort of look to remove away things like the Alistar and Thresh if you really want to go down that route. With the Galio there, though, it kind of makes things a little awkward, and you don't really want to ban out ADs yourself, so banning is going to be sort of weird for both of these teams, actually, because they both have to pick up the same role, most likely.
Yeah, I think with the GP pickup here, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think having seen Zombie play in the past, this is a relatively comfortable champion for him, and I think that's something that this is something that is important because I have not been impressed with Zombie. Realistically, he's been one of the things that I think I've struggled to kind of see him shine on this Godsent roster. I think actually, for the most part, Godsent have got some great players. Like M-Test, I think, is a good AD carry. I think Indecision's a good jungler, but Zombie has struggled a little bit in a lot of matchups. So maybe this is just something that he feels, like you said, seasoned GP player, maybe feels comfortable navigating that matchup.
So with the Tristana ban coming out, we've already seen M-Test play this once. I think it was into the likes of Kaiser. If you pick Kaiser, Senna is still available if you want to kind of play these extended team fights when you have a frontliner like Olaf that wants to go in as well, and you know that Granit Gaming is playing full front as well. So last ban coming out, and Sahira, there goes the Kaiser. Sahira now, with 3 of his champions that he's played banned, he'll have to pick out the 4th one here. Either you obviously pick your AD carry here and save the counter pick from mid lane, but we'll find out in time.
I think AD carry is probably the best thing to do, though Granit may just feel like securing Sakira's champion pool may just be more value to them.
True.
Which is what the hover seems to be suggesting right now. I think, like you highlight, the Senna really does rise in priority here. I don't think they'll necessarily lack too much damage as long as they sort of round out the composition with a little bit of magic damage from the mid lane, assuming Galio then pairs up with the Senna. But thinking about the AD carries that are still up, they could go down the Xayah route, which isn't terrible, but I think Senna just fits a little more of what Godsent are potentially looking to do.
I would love the... Oh, sorry.
Oh, Jin too, yeah. Oh, go on, yeah, Sandro.
No, I was just agreeing. I think Senna would work really well, but it's obviously no mute point now because Jin has been picked. So you know, I might as well just say nothing because it is the AD carry that has been locked in here for Godsent.
Yeah, and honestly, I would have loved if we saw the center, then into an Echo, you could play this side by putting Galio support here as well. But we are seeing that Galio will be going against the Syndra, not something that's terrible either. And you're picking that Jin up with the Thresh instead. So you got a lot of CC to work with. You are a composition that wants to run into them, but you're kind of... Oh my god. All right, I'm going to finish my point, Jamada. You take that afterwards, okay? So you're kind of relying on the damage coming out here because you have some beefy frontliners, but I mean, Jin, you really need to get him ahead because right now he seems like your most reliable backline damage together with GP barrels coming in there.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Twitch very briefly. This is a very, very risky kind of position to bring the Twitch out. I feel like the lane matchup is going to be kind of tough, but Twitch's early levels in damage is actually quite underrated. So we'll have to see how well Migashu knows this matchup. But I think playing into this team composition where you've got a Galio diving forward with an Olaf, the GP ultimate, Jin's never really going to be inside of your range often. It's a really crazy pick. So I'm not sold. If they can get it rolling, then Twitch obviously has the potential to kind of take over the map if there's not really a lot of control for Godsent to hold on to.
It's definitely interesting because there's, as you said, there's barely any peel, and if there's if the cannon barrage on top of you, it becomes even harder to kite as a Twitch as well. So you pretty much need a flash every time you fight.
Yeah,
I think it could be an issue, and I think Godsent have drafted a relatively strong composition here, even though Granit were coming in as the favourites. You know, I think Godsent do have the tools to potentially take a runaway game. We'll see how it plays out. Hitbrain and Orcs standing by as ever to go into our third game.
Honestly, I was like, kind of a normal pick and ban, and then the Twitch comes out. Orcs, talk to me about the Twitch, man. It's been a while since we've seen it. Obviously, there was a little bit of Twitch showing up at the beginning of preseason, back when AP Twitch was kind of busted. I wouldn't say busted, but annoying, if anything.
Yeah, I mean...
what are we going to see from this Twitch here?
Twitch got some buffs, directly and indirectly. Runan's being cheaper was obviously great for him, but this is a wild composition to be picking Twitch into. Ideally, with Twitch, you want to have a composition that can go very hard, go aggressive, look to decimate the enemy team in like as quick as possible. In a situation when the enemy has like a backline, you can just open up on them and destroy them. But I'm looking at Godsent, they don't have much of a backline. They've got Jin, and that's kind of really it. I can just imagine scenarios where Twitch pops out and he's like, "Hello," and then Olaf and Galio this is crush him.
This is one of those things where like you'd pick this kind of comp into a Twitch anyway. You're like, oh, we just got the tools to jump on top of that Twitch.
Yeah.
So it feels weird last picking the Twitch. I mean, let's see how Michigu kind of pulls it off, because this could be, he could make us eat our own words, or we could just be completely right. And ulting Olaf, running onto him with a Galio jumping in, the cannon barrage to slow you down. It is rough.
See, I can just imagine a scenario where Twitch is going to be like rat-a-tat-tat, tat, 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 and Olaf is still alive. And it's just like, oh. Okay.
Is it, did they change it? Because they changed it back. I think it's spray and pray now. I think they went back to that. Yes, it is. So rat-a-tat-tat, they changed it in like season 5, I think, to rat-a-tat-tat. And then went, maybe not. Changed it back to spray and pray, which was the original name.
Everyone got so caught up on that. I'm going to be honest, I never really cared. Call it what you want, right?
Minions have spawned.
It's Melee Warden coming out. It's a lot of glow. I mean, I really like Godsent's comp and what it has to offer. But I think Granit have been playing better. Like, other than getting smashed by Tricked, I think for the most part, Granit have just been playing better. But it's all on Michigu. They've really put so much on his shoulders, because that Twitch is going to have an impact or it's not. And that's simply what I'm looking at. Obviously, there are other factors here, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. This is a big game, I feel, for Godsent. I think if they lose this one, things are going to be looking pretty disastrous altogether for their playoff chances. And not just that, avoiding relegation is still a big thing too.
Well, so far early, Zombie gonna have a pretty okay lane with the grass procs. Just popping out with a parley. So yeah, that's GP in lane.
I mean, that's one of the big things, right? Is that Mini Gnar is still relatively weak. That was one of the big things that pushed Gnar out the meta, is they nerfed Mini Gnar because it was oppressive in pro play to a frustrating degree. But then they buffed Mega Gnar, and they buffed it again and again and again. So Mega Gnar is still incredibly powerful. But I think GP works well because when he's in Mini, you can trade with the parlay and actually deal a good amount of damage to him. And then when he goes Mega, you can just try and disengage, use a barrel, and also you have your oranges to avoid the stun. So altogether, handles him okay, but Gnar's still pretty powerful and will obviously be serving a lot of value in those later team fights.
Really nice scat of the week there, actually, to cancel on the auto attack. Stop Silk from actually picking up that entire back wave.
See a ward get placed down. Obviously, that previous ward, I believe Sahira's, means that they'll be able to see the exact placement. And actually, this is one of the things, it's like, sometimes vision can be a bad thing. And what I mean, like, because now Granit know that ward's there, so Galban can come around this route, and he knows he's not being seen. I mean, kind of gets caught out regardless.
Getting a jump scare there.
Indecision had kind of read his pathing, but the critical thing is sometimes vision can give you a false sense of security. If you assume, oh, I have a ward there, so I'm safe, because Graves could have dashed over the Baron pit. But obviously, it always says, well, at least he is not definitely where this ward is.
Oh, really nice play, actually, to get the interrupt. Dr. Chaos flashes forward, throws down the Ignite with a poison dot. Actually can do a fair amount of damage, but Quick Time is able to get away from that one, and ultimately supports both go low, but they're okay. Galben now looking for Zombie, going to catch him out with the blind to slow him down, and Zombie has got that empowered auto, so he gets a bit of burst movement speed here. Able to flash to safety as Galben won't be able to find the kill there in the bot side. Double crabs for Indecision on the tail end of that, though.
Yeah, I mean, Indecision's perfectly happy with this, but it's a rough spot for Zombie. If you actually look at where the wave is on the top side, it's in a disastrous position, frozen from the tower. So, I mean, what's Zombie to do? He's TP back in, try and push it in, but Graves is still in the vicinity. So, this could be a bit of a risky one.
Yeah,
things are coming out
instantly into here.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a Sheen, so I will say Zombie is a little bit stronger now, because the other two haven't reset, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's still flashless. It'll be a 1v2, but actually, it looks like Galban's made a decision not to opt into that fight. Actually concerned about Indecision moving up, so I kind of understand the decision. Potentially going into that in a 2v2 could have been pretty disastrous, especially since Indecision had a pickaxe and there's a Sheen on Zombie, so they will just back away, happy with the flash being burned. Yeah.
Ultimately, Indecision is going to be able to go into the jungle and steal away the chicken camp as well, so gold for him. And they did know for Galban was about because there was a ward in the bush, which is timed out now, but they did have a bit of information to work with. Galban now looking to see where he can go. Has been spotted out by some of the vision. Silk's pretty low HP, been getting bullied around by Sahira.
In this game changes drastically when level 6 is hit by the solo liners for Godsent. So much global pressure available on the back of that, so we'll get to see what they're able to make to accomplish with that. You can see Silk has to sacrifice the cannon, respecting the threat available, but Dr. Chaos, remember, he is flashless.
Yeah, has been slowed down by the first axe, but not the second. There's the Flay, takes the Zenith Blade into the taunt, and the Justice Punch will be enough. That's first blood for Silk.
Good punish coming out. Indecision and Quick Time are working well together to catch out Dr. Chaos, who honestly, walking around with no flash, essentially isolate from your team is a very risky thing to do, and he gets punished for it.
Somebody can get a bully, but the dragon going to get picked up here from the side of Godsent. They got themselves a mountain to work with.
Do you see the level 6s coming in? And that's the big thing I'm looking at. I'm looking at where do they make use of these ults and how much impact do they have? Because that's the big distinguishing factor Godsent have, is the sheer global power available to them. And if a fight breaks up bot lane, you see Galban potentially looking for one. I know which team I'd rather be on.
Yeah, absolutely.
the one that wins.
Yeah, of course. The team that gets to hit the Nexus.
Yeah. Well, kill the Nexus.
True. Doesn't always end in the Nexus going down.
Yeah, I've seen too many examples of that.
Yeah, in the UKLC, we've had way too many of those. Bot lane feeling pretty comfortable pushing up here. They know that they've got their jungler about. And actually, the curtain is going to get called here. We were talking about that global pressure they got. Michigu has gone golden as the Galliot going to come in. Indecision's going to be able to find the kill. The cannon barrage as well, as that's a full taunt. Michigu has to cleanse to get away, but Indecision continues to chase here. Fourth shot from M-Test is enough to secure the kill, and Indecision able to escape from Galvan's collateral damage. Now, Sahira maybe looking for a little something on the turn, but will be spotted out by that pink ward placed down just by Silk, who Justice punches to safety. Sahira still looking for that big scatter of the week, but Great Lantern means he is not going to get found, and the blind is big, but it's not really going to be big enough here. The Unleashed Power, but the Taunt will give him the survivability into the hook, into the Deadly Flourish, and Godsent are just cashing in on everything bot side.
Yeah, I mean, I said which team I'd rather be on, and looks like I was correct about that one. The Globals coming in clutch there for Godsent. They're confident to make the setup as a result, and Sahira really late to the fight. And it's not his fault. He doesn't have TP. He has to walk down. Of course he's going to be late to the fight. That's why Godsent's composition really comes online at that level 6 point. And when there's a Twitch in the bot lane, there's no better place on the map to go. I feel like Granit is kind of caught out on that one.
It's the AP Twitch, by the way, as well.
Is it? Oh, I saw the Doran's ring and I was like, Doran's ring doesn't mean AP Twitch, but it actually is.
Oh, they're going for it. Michigu's got R. He may just try and cash in on some kills. Quick timer will lose his life as Michigu gets it. Okay. AP Twitch, baby.
A nice response, but I mean, it is going to mean that the damage over time coming from the poisons is going to be huge.
This is the AP Twitch. Gets a lot of damage. He may just burn to the dot damage here. M-Test is going to die. AP Twitch, baby.
Oh my god. What a build. What a champion. See, what was insane to me is people were playing AP Twitch and it was pretty annoying. It wasn't like hugely successful, but it was pretty annoying. But then they buffed Twitch. Like, they just flat buffed him. Because obviously they wanted AD Twitch to be better, but it buffed AP Twitch as well. Well, we'll see the replay. Great opening up off the ultimate here. Quick timers landing everything in these plays. And the Galley ult comes in. It's not even needed, in all honesty. But then the GP ult catches Michigu out. Despite the fact he flashes, they can just run down and take him out. It's pretty close to Indecision going down. But ultimately, he's able just to shake it off thanks to being an Olaf. But yeah, I mean, the globals from Godsent coming in clutch, but the fact that Granit got 2 kills on the way out is pretty significant and mitigating that pressure.
It really makes itemizing against AP Twitch really irritating because he still goes AD items. It's just the Nashes as your AP item. As once again, we'll have a little look at the tail end of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, just really good play coming out from Godsent. Quick timer on point throughout this situation, but this is the exit point. This is when they should have walked away, but they got greedy. They get punished, and M-Test more than anything. I can kind of, you know, it's kind of the both faults that quick timer died, but M-Test just overstays, and you have to respect a Twitch in this situation. No Thresh with a Lantern, no Flash, no heal, and he can absolutely do that. So much burst available.
Yeah, really, really nasty stuff as Sahira maybe looking for Silk. Not really going to find it. Silk does have the Merc Treads, so actually pretty hard for Sahira to kill. Actually makes Michigu's life a little bit harder as well, as at the moment isn't rocking any AD. And
he still does. I mean, he does a lot of true damage, like a lot of true damage, and he's still like his E still does a decent amount of physical damage. Like, I mean, it's hard to itemize in terms of resistances, but realistically, you can just grab HP, which I'm sure Godsent are going to do in terms of the Olaf in particular. Pretty significant Goldie in the mid lane in particular. Silk benefiting massively from that roam down towards bot lane, but you can see a similar thing in the jungle. The AD carries are dead even.
I was just trying to clear out this wave. He's getting bullied pretty heavily by a zombie. Do expect this. Meganar may got buffed, but actually is somewhat weaker as zombie. I say this, Just getting chunked out heavily by Tamos, and one last boomerang is going to be enough, but the collateral damage from Galvan over the wall, that's one dead pirate.
Did you see how much damage the boulder did when he threw it
So
at that?
nutty, isn't it? It's so nutty.
It's just so much damage. Like, that's the thing, is that like Zombie can bully him again and again and again, but all Tamos needs is like one opportunity, and that's even with the oranges to stop the CC and no ult coming in. He has to flash away to survive, and then obviously Galvan just comes in to clean up.
Nasty stuff, but as we take back to the Rift and have a look at where we are currently, Dragon's going to get picked up. That's the second one for Godsent. Granit, they've been making some pretty good plays to pull them back from what was honestly a really messy and horrible bot lane play for themselves. And now they're looking at 2 Dragons off being that Ocean Soul. And if Olaf gets that, you thought it was hard to kill in the last game. Watch it, watch that.
I mean, that just sets him up for like the Spirit Visage, Derek's, potentially the Gargoyle as well. I mean, it would be pretty absurd.
Michigan's finished his Nash's Tooth. I'm curious to see what the next item is, because it's been a while since I've seen the AP Twitch.
So when I first started seeing the AP Twitch, it was Nash's Tooth and the Night Harvester for like maximum burst.
Ooh. But do you maybe think it's the hybrid? Because I've seen a hybrid build where you go like a normal, just AD build, like a Blade the Ruined King.
I'm going to be honest, I
Slayer.
haven't seen enough Twitch to really comment on what
I think that's fair enough. I think that's fair in this case.
Specifically AP Twitch. I haven't really seen too much AD Twitch, but at least on that I can make an informed guess. As to AP Twitch, it's kind of crazy, I'll be honest. So I guess we're going to see what Michigu goes, but those are definitely options whether he wants to go more AP heavy, a bit more bursty, a bit more dot reliant, or he wants to just kind of transition Nash's into an AD build, because Nash's is a really good one-item spike. It allows you to do things like this.
M-Test. M-Test needs to be careful. He's going to try and put that 4th shot in. As big Lantern will save his life. Michigan dodging away as well on the tail end.
Like, in terms of one-item spike, I think Nash's is probably the best Twitch can do.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to consistently cause issues for M-Test. That Lantern coming in huge. Gale Force as well. Little slide away. And actually, watch out for Galban.
Chaos is going to take the hook. They have got some backup. Galban comes in, forces the heal out. As there's the Galioar. Everything's being layered in. Quick Time is looking for the turnaround. There's Silk with a Proto Belt forward. Michigu has to flash away from the Deadly Flourish, but the flash, the taunt, Michigu cleanses, but the Colossal Smash is enough to secure the kill. And now Indecision making his way in. Hook into cleanse. Sahira fails the flash. Actually, sorry, does get the flash off. I saw something else there for a minute, and Granit
Silk failed the dash.
Still failed the dash. Honestly, I mean, at least get this first tower blood on the bot side, but ultimately still losing out massively here.
Yeah, I mean, this was a situation where Granit were like, let's start a fight, and then Godsent were like, you know, we're the team with the globals, by the way. And Granit got a harsh reminder that's the case, but ultimately that advantage of having the top lane is still going to pay dividends with them picking up the tower and winning the race to first. That not incredibly powerful right now, but I'm still just concerned with how many proactive plays I've been able to make.
I think if Tamos hadn't missed that boomerang, this could be a very dead zombie.
Yeah, I mean,
actually really lucky Tamos missed the pickup on that.
Super strong right now. Actually seen a Gore Drinker now, which is pretty interesting. We'll go over the replay first before I talk about that. So they go for the play, but Gale Force and Lantern are a thing to keep them out. And then this, you can see Galban considering, he's like, I don't know if I have damage to kill him. And he's like, whatever, I'm going for it. Doesn't really have damage to kill him. But a beautiful play here by QuickTime. Honestly, him on Thresh this game has been absolutely stellar. And great decision making there from Silk not to go for the Leona. Definitely dead from the Ignite. Gets Michigu. It gets a bit messy here, but QuickTimer again. Beautiful hook comes out. And Silk, unfortunately, misses the dash. Clips against the wall. And Sahira is able to get out. But just stellar play from the Thresh there.
I think this might be one dead Tamos. Does get the slow, does get the hop to his safety. Deadly Flourish is not going to hit. He has a Gore Drinker to work with. And actually, Ragnarok burnt. And 4 members pulled towards that side of the map. And ultimately, not going to be able to find a kill. The Mar just a little bit too strong for them at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Gore Drinker as well, not even used, but would have had that healing available. And when you hit Mega, you're just so tanky. But yeah, I have seen Gore Drinker now, but typically it tends to be Stridebreaker.
Yeah.
It allows you just to team fight better, get in on the backline a lot easier and have that slow. I've also seen a bit of Divine Sundra when you want to really emphasize your split pushing. But I think Goldrinker makes sense to a degree in this game because, you know, Galio and Olaf are going to be up in your face. There's not too much of a backline to be getting on top of. It's only really M-Test, so Stridebreaker may be less of a priority here. And if you are getting in the mix to Mega, Goldrinker does have a ton of value, so kind of understand it from that regard. And it looks like, taking a look at Michigu's items, it's going to need this Diarge Rod, so definitely investing in more AP.
Oh, zombie? No, okay. He thought about it, but this is definitely AP Twitch. You are correct on that one. Dragon's up, and ultimately, I think Michigu decided not to go for that because he wants to save his R for this fight. Tamoz has his teleport. There is a flanking ward behind the pit for him to go to if he wants to.
He's
Granit now making their way forward. Michigu coming in as well. Puts down the slow, but gets hooked, gets clawed, and he is down. Honestly, really, really sloppy positioning from Michigu, ultimately. The cannon barrage in the curtain ghoul has been laid out, and Tamoz actually goes into sleepy form on Gnar. So he has to flash the wall on that fourth shot. This is just a really, really devastating fight for Granit. Completely scattered calls, and they lose 2 members.
QuickTimer just doesn't miss. Honestly, he's been so good on Thresh. He's really dictating all these fights and being an absolute menace. He's gonna bait like he's walking around here.
Yeah.
Oh, and again.
Tamoz is dead here. Actually, the 4 shot time's out. The teleports are coming in. They're actually bringing members around. Tamoz about to Gnar out, so ultimately might be all right as Galvan's able to Gale Force away from Silk. So teleport burnt from Silk. But the man on your screen right now, Michigu on the Twitch, that last fight, I don't know what he thought he was doing, walking into melee range of a Galio.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. We're going to replay. I mean, this is just one of those situations. I just want to highlight QuickTimer here. Just does so much work throughout this fight. Throws the pink down, finds Twitch, hooks him, Flay, dead. Fight starts to continue. They're resetting, waiting for the hook cooldown, and then QuickTimer once again walks up here and gets another one onto Dr. Chaos in just a second, I believe. There we go. And it's just, again, these consistent hooks are just allowing Godsent to kill target after target. Really stellar gameplay, considering Godsent have been struggling so much. And this one doesn't amount to quite as much for Godsent. But QuickTimer, again, just doesn't miss.
Finding every hook he needs to find. So here he gets chunked out by M-Test. Caught out by the Deadly Flourish. Cleansed as well, even though I don't know if it was completely necessary. Tamoz will spot out Indecision and Silk doing the Rift Herald. And for the moment, Michigu just off in this bot lane trying to farm up. Got the needlessly large rod. Curious to see what that actually builds into. Zombie has to flash away from the solar flare, so flash burnt there.
It'll be an easy mid-tower pickup.
Now everybody's collapsing onto Tamoz. Silk may look for him here. Tamoz gonna throw out the boomerang, and he is getting jumped onto. There are too many members nearby. The taunt will connect, and Narbar's not going to be up in time. He may be able to get a quick Gore Drinker off, but it won't happen, and that will ultimately be a kill onto the Gnar off in the side lane. Baron now getting started up. Granit looking to see if they're going to try and catch them out. Although QuickTimer sitting in the bush, trying to hide away from the vision. Granit now know this is going on. Michigu's half health, and he is just walking towards Silk and QuickTimer. Ultimately, Baron's going down fairly slow. They do find a hook. No Lantern to follow up, and Baron will just be stopped for now.
It didn't amount to anything, but just QuickTimer is so on point with these hooks, honestly. A pleasure to see, but they start the Baron, having a pick, thinking maybe we can bait them into fighting, but Granit approach it extremely slowly and make the correct calls, so won't be baited into any rough fights there.
So here even on his base cancel by M-Test with the Deadly Flourish there. That's so irritating.
Annoying. A minute 50 on that Ocean Dragon, and that would be soul for Godsent, and really difficult for the side of Granit to overcome at that point. So I'll have to see what they can do to contest this one. Ultimately, I'm looking at what Tamoz can do on this Gnar, and whether Michigu can finally get a good ult, justify this Twitch pick, justify whether this champion was worth taking.
That's what we're looking for. Got 1,400 gold in the bank, so it'll probably just be a needlessly large rod here. No death cap for this fight. will hamper the items a little bit. And also, curiously enough, Michigu completely disregarding any mythics for the moment. Those items are just legendaries.
Yeah, going for the Rabadons for that, maximizing the AP ratio. I presume it would be the Night Harvest. I'm not sure what other item you get. Maybe if you're feeling really wild, you got like Protobell or something.
Yeah, I was feeling like Protobell's probably the only other like justifiable one, unless you want to go like Leandries for... Okay, don't worry. He has to cleanse.
I mean, M-Test just sliding forwards with the Gale Force. But now he might be put
a
out.
little careful. Gonna take a little bit here. There's a Lantern though. Solar Flare down by Dr. Chaos is not good now. Losing that
Lantern
for
OP.
The Baron, the Dragon even. I don't know if they can actually take this fight anymore. Tomaz, he is gonna be also in a bit of an awkward position as they do find everything onto Galban. Galban just gonna get run down. Michigu on that flank. Here comes the Galio. Galban keeps his life alive for the moment. He flashes away, but Indecision comes in. Dr. Chaos gets the taunt off, and that is going to be a kill for Silk. 2 kills already. And Granit just honestly getting caught constantly by Godsent. Really, really greedy positioning and not paying respect to what Godsent have on their comp. Timer looking for the hook. Silk also getting jumped onto. That's a big barrel chain. Michigu, very, very low HP. Will get swapped back a little bit. Great scatter the weak by Sahara, but ultimately the Ocean Soul's been picked up and Sahara has to cleanse, has to flash. This team are just not paying respect to the Galio. It's slightly tilting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep walking up and then they bin a flash, get away, and they're like, okay, let's try again. And it's like, no. Herald kind of randomly just thrown down. I guess there was timing out, but this one... It's actually better not to use it there because you're just giving 25 gold to Sahara. I know it's like a minor thing, but like, it's not going to hit the tower there, but, you know, kind of wasted. But either way, they get Soul, Ocean Soul, pretty big deal. You got the Sterak Score Drinker on the Olaf. So all in all, things looking heavily stacked towards Godsent, despite the fact it's only a 3k gold lead, which is not that crazy compared to our previous 2 games.
Yeah.
But the Ocean Soul and Pocket makes a massive difference. And Michigu's still not got his second item. Rabadon's obviously a pretty expensive one he's working towards, but look at the replay. We see Quick Timer actually miss a hook, which is a bit of craziness, but ultimately they find the lockdown on the Galban. And if you look at the rest of Granit, here and Michigu, they're just scared to push forward. They don't know what to do. They try and go on Quick Timer, but he survives thanks to Locket, and then they're instantly dissuaded. So the front line of Godsent can just run down Granit.
Like, my point is, if there's a Galio, don't go melee range. Like, really, really weird stuff coming in from them to be walking up like that. Tomaz is going to be able to take a bot lane tower for his team, so that is the second tower for them. But Indecision starting up this Baron and test at the back as well. And there just isn't the vision for Granit. No Death Cap finished up onto Michigu. Hook lands onto Galban. He's flayed back. Curtain's called. And Sahara's going to have to tank a couple of these. But honestly, that 4th one's going to hurt. And now both jungler and AD carry chunked out heavily. Michigu, Dr. Chaos are going to have to do some real work to stop this. But I honestly doubt they have the capability. It might just have to be a miracle steal. The teleports are coming in. And Baron actually called off. Godsent not willing to flip it, but they are willing to fight it. The cannon barrage is coming in. Michigu being zoned away by it. And the fight is just so rough on all fronts. Tamal's taunted and taken out. Godsent find the kill.
It's the strongest member down for the side of Godsent, so put them in a pretty rough position, and the Ocean Soul just means they can sustain back up. And I think Granite are just accepting Baron's gone. Things are coming out, though. I just don't think they can do anything.
Quick Timer's going to look to try and stop Galban, Dr. Chaos. They know he's there. Michigu gone invisible for the moment. Silk actually gets the hook. Oh, that's on Quick Timer. Michigu has to cleanse. He's popped the ulti. Quick Timer's going low. It's going to burn down slowly to the poisons and the burn, but the Baron's already been picked up. Silk jumps in, looking to try and find his opening. They get the axes off. Michigu firing away, but Dr. Chaos will lose his life shortly as the axe connects, and Zombie is scattered back by Sahara. The barrels won't connect. Granite take out 1, but they lose Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Godsent are perfectly happy with that. You trade up in kills and you get the Baron. It just feels kind of desperate from Granite at this point. They're trying to find a win to win, but it's just not arriving. Gonna look at the replay, and it's a slow Baron. They don't have too much DPS on it. Ultimately, they're not going super fast. They have 2 members off, but critically Jhin not the best at taking the Baron. This fight breaks out. It's kind of scattered, but critically Galvan just can't get close to the Baron. And that's the important thing. It doesn't matter that quick timer dies. It matters that Galvan isn't able to smite, and he's not. And then this turnaround here, just beautiful from Silk, the stopwatch timing. Able to get a massive Winds of War there that hits 3 members, and then they can just chase down. Ultimately, don't opt to go after Sahara. There's no need. They got the Baron. They don't need to overchase. But they come away with a couple of kills, and then they have a 6,000 gold lead, Ocean Soul in pocket, and a full Baron buff to make use of here. Godsent definitely in control.
And it's AP Twitch, so he's not even going to be able to kill the wave all that effectively.
Realistically, Jake, he's not really able to kill anything that effectively.
No, because he's Twitch, and they've got a Olaf, Gangplank, and a Galio.
Yeah, still not understanding this pick, honestly.
For anyone who's just tuned in, this was the last lock-in of the pick phase as well. They picked Twitch into this team. They are going to get the scatter of the week off onto Indecision. Galben not really able to do much, and he just has to watch as his tier 2 falls down. MTS will get slowed down momentarily. You can see the poison's not really doing too much right now to MTS. They weren't really stacked up all that high, to be completely fair. And for some reason, Tamos is farming and pushing top lane while their base is getting sieged by the Baron waves. He has found Silk, although it looks like Silk has found him.
Loses that?
Tamos is going down.
I can't believe that the Gnar loses a 1v1 against the Galio, but I guess he does. Just goal difference being a huge thing, but that's gotta feel bad. Lost the Gnar already in this fight. TP coming in. Looks like Godsent not holding back at all in this pressure. And Mishigu, I'd like to see him try.
Oh, he has, and it hasn't worked ever. Scatter comes in from Sahara, puts down the cask just to slow for a little bit and do a little bit of poison damage, but those barrels are going to be enough. Mishigu already chunked, and Dr. Chaos is going to have to find one hell of an opening, but the Karen barrage is already too big. Mishigu has popped the spray and pray. Solar Flare lands onto a couple of members, but one of those is immune to CC. Health bars on Godsend are still pretty healthy, and these towers are getting focused out. Sahara will lose his life to this barrel as it's just able to survive. But the Nexus has been left open here. Michigu's trying his hardest to get that little bit of bonus damage in. Quick timer caught out for the hook. They're focusing the support right now. And the Nexus ultimately is going to go down. Michigu not able to put anything in. With 29 minutes on the clock, let's make it 30. Godsend will take the win.
Honestly, a dominating performance. Really like the draft coming out from Godsend. Great global pressure, great setup for the team. Olaf, all really good attributes for a draft to have. And ultimately, we saw a situation where I think Granit put themselves in an uphill battle with things like the AP Twitch, but ultimately just weren't playing as good. Pound for pound, quick timer in particular, on point with that Thresh. So many great hooks in that game. I think Godsend proving that just because the standings are the way they are doesn't mean things are set, doesn't mean things are done. Because if you looked at the standings, and I mean, even not just off that, off the previous performances, all of us analysts voted for Granit in this one, and I think we had reason to. But clearly, Godsent shown that they're not done, they're still capable, and very much have a shot at making it to playoffs in this group.
Honestly, questionable stuff there from Granit. Now, guys, we are going to throw to a quick break, so it's time to go to the loo and get a bit of a break in. We'll see you in a second.
What's that strange face staring at me in the mirror, in the mirror? What's this strange change of season coming over, coming over? It goes on and on and on, and it never seems to easy. It ain't that easy. What do I need? It ain't that easy to make it happen. It ain't that easy. Oh man, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. Watching the world go by under the moonlit sky. It's the feeling, yeah, it's the feeling. Sun-kissed and having fun, oceans and summer sun. It's the feeling, yeah, it's the feeling. We know what ain't gonna change, yeah, we know the stars will never fade. We'll never walk away, make this our real life, just you and me, right where I want to be. Right where I want to be.
His life to
Welcome back, everybody, to the NLC and Godsent. They completely flipped the predictions. They put Granit in the dirt, and again, we did say it from the draft. They had the composition that technically made sense and could deal with Granit pretty easily. And I think I'm raising questions. You know, I did say in the game, I was like, do you just ban Victor and Rise every game, and that's it? You've beaten Godsent, and you guys were like, well, it's not really about Sahira. Actually, this is a bit of a different angle. But you know, credit to Godsent. They played that really well.
I just want to say real quick that I finally saw a composition that made sense. You had the weak side top GP, you got the first pick Olaf, you had the Galio that had great roams from Silk as well down to the bottom side, and you actually made 4-man dives happen in bot lane. Like, that was a cohesive unit from Godsent getting their lanes ahead, and that's something that I personally wasn't used to seeing from them.
Yeah, and not only that, it's just so easy to do when you're dealing with the likes of a Twitch, right? He's so vulnerable to these kind of dives and 4-mans. And when you've got the likes of the GP who just drops the ultimates, the dives are so easy to execute too. And honestly, just the Twitch pick, man, it's gonna bug me for a while. I think it's gonna bug us for a while in general. But yeah, just didn't really. No.
It was really random given the composition that they were playing into. And we always kind of said it was like, well, how does Twitch play into Galio, GP, Olaf? Like, how? Anyway, look, I've got M-Test standing by for an interview, so I'm going to bring him in to have a chat. M-Test, here's the question then. How does a Twitch play into Galio, GP, and Olaf?
I mean, I think only Granit has that answer in the books right now. I don't think we knew either how they would play, and turns out it's quite hard.
Yeah. I mean, it is quite hard. Clearly, you guys played that well. Obviously, you've had a bit of a rocky start to the NLC, but obviously getting a win here as well is really important because it feels like in Group A, you've got two teams that are kind of running away with those top two spots, but it's going to be a bit of a fight for the third and fourth spot. And now Godsent, it looks like you put yourself in the running for at least the third and fourth spot contest here. Do you feel pretty confident you guys are going to make a good playoff run?
I mean, I think it's better to have like a slump in the beginning of the split rather than and in the end by playoffs, right? And I think we for sure had our slump. I don't know if you can even call it slump. It was a complete disaster. We were just not playing at all together. But I think this game shows that we can actually play as a team, which is like it's a good sign for me. I feel like I just build confidence around that and my team as well. Just proving that basically. So yeah, obviously going forward, it just feels like now our slump is finally over and you will see a whole new Godsent moving forward.
Was there anything that you worked on specifically, or is it just something that took some time to materialize?
No, I think just the concepts that our coach John wanted to bring in. Like it took a bit of time to get into our heads, so to speak. But I think the concepts that he has been teaching us just has helped us like a tremendous amount. And I think it just now starting to click. And yeah, it took its time, but it's for sure something we've been working towards.
And this is a little bit of an off-brand question. I noticed you've been casting recently. I noticed you've been doing, I think, one of the Telia broadcasts. Is it the Swedish Telia broadcast that you've been doing? I kind of wanted to ask how casting is for you, like, because it's not many opportunities you get as a player to do some casting. So how did you like casting? Oh
no, I absolutely love it. Like, it feels so. It's a lot of fun. Like, I can only imagine how you guys are having it on a weekly basis. But I think probably in Swedish it might be a bit more natural as well. I don't know how I would do it in English, but it's been a blast, honestly, man. Like, I've been casting like once or twice before, but nothing compared to this. And my co-caster Henning is also like such a smurfer. He's like really good at like bringing me into the cast. So I've been enjoying it like a lot. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, you look like you're having fun, and I hope we get to see more from you. Maybe even in the future we get you on an English broadcast as well. So I think going to keep our eyes on M-Test, the caster, mate. You might be doing a K-drill eventually and switching out a pro play to become a caster. I have to swap roles first, and then like, because that's what Kiddo did as well, right? It was mid main, and then he became and then caster. So I have to do it as well. Retired, so yeah, do the same thing maybe. M-Test, great to talk to you, mate, and get to see you soon. Good to see you. See you guys. Got a bit of competition coming our way, guys. M-Test, he's liking it. And it's, to be honest, every pro player that kind of has a natural affinity for casting and then they give it a go always says they love it. They always say, actually, I really love just talking about the game with no pressure on actually how to perform, and just like being able to talk about the game is amazing. So, I think it's something that I can definitely relate to when I was never a pro player. All right, we have a drawing board. I think it's Professor Gulborg to do this one, so I'm going to bring Professor Gulborg in, and I'll go do this.
You know what, Excandrel? I'm going to bring you in on this. I'm going to see if you've learned something in our little lessons here. So, as we play the clip, Excandrel, I want you to explain to me what is it Godsent are doing here in the mid lane? What are we gaining here in the mid lane from Godsent?
Well, they're just shoving the wave. So.
We're getting priority. That's right, Excandrel. Yeah. We're getting priority because with priority, we can move into this mid lane and secure all the vision around the Drake pig. You can see here, they're clearing out the vision. They've forgotten a few pink wards here, though, and that may cost them because TP is ready for the Nah here. Now, with this TP coming out, it's not a perfect placement. What you realistically want from this TP is either that the flank can come down from here, or you can move it towards and do it front to back. Unfortunately, this little Twitch, he's got other ideas. Before the TP even finishes, he's out of the fight. And that kind of just means that you've lost this Drake and realistically speaking have no business here. And this is just some of the team coordination that's coming out from Granit that kind of just failed. And you can see this is the easiest fight of Godsent's life. Granit Gaming is just running into that. Everything was wrong about this, and Godsent, with a clear, perfect setup, they come in, get the mid pressure, easy Drake priority, and you know what? Why not throw a couple of kills in there?
Twitch just kind of ran. I mean, what I gathered from that fight was ignore everything that you said up until Twitch ran it down, and then Twitch ran it down. Okay, so there you go.
You like ignoring my analysis, Excandrel. I don't appreciate this.
Twitch runs it down. That's Gulborg. That's the title of next Gulborg book in this series of Gulborg one-liner books. We've got win lane, win game, and I think we've had another one. I can't remember what Gulborg's second book was.
The sequel,
but Gulborg's third book is now Twitch runs it down. So there we go, guys. We've got a break. When we come back, our last game of the night is coming your way. So we'll see you then.